Hare Krishna, and we're back with Shri Īśopaniṣad by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, page number 90. Pusha nikarshaya masurya prajapatya vyuha rashmin samuha teja yate rupam kalyanata tate pashyami yo savasau puruṣas sohamasmi. Pushan, the maintainer, Ekarshe, the primeval philosopher, Yama, the regulating principle, Surya, the destination of the Suris, great devotees, Prajapatya, the well-wisher of the Prajapatis, progenitors of mankind, Vyuha, kindly arrange, Rashmin, the rays, Samuha, wind up or wind up, Teja, effulgence, Tat, that, Te, your, Rupam, form, Kalyanatamam, auspicious, Tat, that, Te, yours, Pashyami, I may see, Yah, one who is, Asau, the sun, Asau, that, Purusha, personality of Godhead, Saha, he, Amam, myself, Asmi, I am. Translation. O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal, supreme personality of Godhead. Like unto the sun, so am I. Purport. The sun and the sun's rays are one and the same qualitatively. Similarly, the Lord and the living entities are one and the same in quality. The sun is one, but the molecules of the sun's rays are innumerable. The sun's rays constitute part of the sun. The sun and the rays conjointly are the complete sun. Within the sun planet there is the sun god, and similarly within the supreme spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavan, from which the effulgent Brahma Jyoti is emanating, there is the eternal Lord, as is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Quote, the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna is the land of touchstones, of which the houses are built, shaded by desire trees. The Lord is engaged there in herding the Surabhi cows, and is always served and surrounded by thousands of goddesses of fortune, who wait upon him with all respect. Unquote. The description of this transcendental abode of Lord Krishna is in the Brahma Samhita, and the Brahma Jyoti is described there as the supreme rays from that planet, just as the sun's rays come from the sun globe. Unless one surpasses the Brahma Jyoti glare, one cannot have any information of the land of the Lord. Excuse me. The impersonalist philosopher, being blinded by the dazzling effulgence of Brahma Jyoti, cannot realize the factual abode of the Lord, nor his transcendental form. Affected by such a poor fund of knowledge, the thinkers cannot understand the all-blissful, transcendental form of Lord Krishna. Shri Īśopaniṣad therefore offers this prayer for the Lord to remove the effulgent rays of the Brahma Jyoti, so that the pure devotee can see his all-blissful transcendental form. By realization of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, one experiences the auspicious aspect of the Supreme. By experience of the Paramātmā, or all-pervading feature of the Supreme, one experiences a still more auspicious enlightenment. And by meeting the personality of Godhead face to face, the devotee experiences the most auspicious feature of the Supreme. Being addressed as the philosopher, maintainer, the well-wisher, and so forth, the Supreme Truth cannot be considered impersonal. That is the indication of Sri Īśopaniṣad. The word maintainer is especially significant. The Lord maintains his devotees, specifically, although he is the maintainer of one and all beings, by surpassing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. When the devotee sees the personal aspect of the Lord and his most auspicious eternal form, then the devotee realizes the absolute truth in full. Srila Jiva Goswami says in his Bhagavata Sandarbha as follows. I was just thinking about Srila Jiva Goswami because I heard one time in the class Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was saying that there are 3 categories of doubts in spiritual life. One is solved, like one type of doubts are destroyed by personal experience in spiritual life. Second type of doubts are destroyed by scriptures, like you read scriptures and then your doubts are cleared. And the last category of doubts are destroyed only when you see the Lord face to face. Yeah, so Srila Jiva Goswami says in his Bhagavata Sandarbha, quote, "The complete conception of the absolute truth is realized in the personality of Godhead, because he is almighty, with full potency in transcendence. In the Brahma Jyoti, the full potency of the absolute truth is not realized, and therefore Brahman realization is only partial realization of the personality of Godhead. O learned sages, the first letter of the word Bhagavan is twice significant. First, in the sense of one who fully maintains, and the second in the sense of guardian. Haribol, the guardian. The second letter Ga means guide, leader, or creator. The letter Va or Ba means that every being lives in him, and he also lives in every being. In other words, the transcendental sound Bhagavan represents the infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength, and influence, all without any tinge of material inebrieties." Unquote. Haribol! Haribol, I love Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami ki jai. I love Srila Prabhupada. Okay, the Lord fully maintains his unalloyed devotees, and he guides such devotees progressively on the path of devotional perfection. As leader of his devotees, he ultimately awards the desired result of devotional service by giving himself to his devotees. The devotees of the Lord see the Lord eye to eye by his causeless mercy, and thus the Lord helps his devotees to reach the supermost spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. As creator, he can create all the necessary qualifications in his devotee, so that the devotee can ultimately reach him. Oh, that's so sweet. The Lord is the cause of all causes, and there is no cause of him, for he is the original cause. As such, he enjoys his own self by manifesting his own internal potency. The external potency is manifested not exactly by himself, for he expands himself as the puruṣas, and it is in these forms that he maintains the features of the material manifestation. By such expansions does he create, maintain, and annihilate the cosmic manifestation. The living entities are also differentiated expansions of his self, and because some of the living entities desire to be the Lord, imitating the Supreme Lord, he allows them to enter into the cosmic creation with the option of fully utilizing their propensity for lording it over. On account of the presence of his parts and parcels, the living entities, the whole phenomenal world is stirred into action and reaction. The living entities are given full capacity to lord it over material nature. But the ultimate controller is the Lord himself in his plenary feature of Paramātmā, the Supersoul, which is one of the puruṣas. Therefore, there is a gulf of difference between the living entity known as Atman and the controlling Lord known as Paramātmā, the soul and the Supersoul. Paramātmā is the controller, and Atma is controlled, therefore they cannot be on the same level. The Paramātmā fully cooperates with the Atma, and thus he is known as the constant companion of the living being. This all-pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of walking and sleeping, and also in potential states, and from which the Jiva Shakti, living force, is generated, as both the conditioned and the liberated souls, is known as Brahman. Thus, the Lord is the origin of both Paramātmā and Brahman, and therefore he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in the devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to him in heart and soul, and whenever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no other engagement but to glorify the Lord in terms of his transcendental activities. Those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, those who have realized only the Brahman feature or the Paramātmā feature of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of such perfect devotees. But the Lord always helps such pure devotees by supplying necessary knowledge within their hearts, and by his special favor, he dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. This the yogis and philosophers cannot imagine, because they more or less depend on their own strength. Oh, goodness me. Yes, thank you. I needed to hear that on the 31st of December 2020. As is stated in the Īśopaniṣad, the Lord can be known only to those whom he favors and not to anyone else. And such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Shri Īśopaniṣad here indicates such favor of the Lord beyond the purview of the Brahma Jyoti. Haribol! Jai! Okay, thank you so much for tuning in today. We shall conclude today here, and tomorrow we will start with mantra 17. Is the last mantra? No, there is. Yes, 17th is the last mantra. No, 18. Okay, 18 mantras, of course. So, day after tomorrow we're concluding Shri Īśopaniṣad. So please, the link to this book is in the description. Dive into Shri Īśopaniṣad, and we shall see you next time. Hare Krishna. Happy New Year, by the way. Yes, of course. Today is 31st December, and we wish all of our dear listeners to be happy in Krishna consciousness in the upcoming year. Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. Please dive into Shravanam and Kirtanam and Bhakti Yoga, and you shall see how much mercy and blessings the Lord can bestow when we stop depending only on our own strength and do it under the guidance of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. And if you came across this podcast, I'm very, very excited and happy for you, and I hope you will find connection with your own self and your spiritual identity, and thus be happy and fortunate. Hare Krishna. So Happy New Year, and we shall see you in the next year. Haribol.